3, 2, 1 in character. Hey, I'm doing my presentation on some homosexual facts. Did you know much of gay history has been quietly suppressed? Many people do not realize that gay history has taken place for thousands of years. There's paintings that are common now that have been brought up of depicting male love and women love as well. That's been found in Greek, Incan, and Mayan art. And did you know in ancient Greek, love between males was just as equal as that of a straight couple? And male love was also thought to bring out the best in the young, uh, especially manliness and courage. In warfare, often soldiers fought side by side in the heat of the battle, as with the great Alexander the Great and his boyfriend Hephaestion, who together conquered the known world. In Japan, samurai paired up with older warriors to be trained in love and war, and even shogun had many boyfriends, which were the leaders at the time. Uh, then we go on to having in North America and Siberia, shamanic traditions date back to the Stone Age of the great spiritual powers that come within the love of people of the same sex, which much of that's found in the Native American Two-Spirit Indian tradition, which survives to this day. And going on a little bit further into the detail, many writers, musicians, poets, and painters depicted male love, but it always had to be in coded form. For example, Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel, who, as you see with all the male nudes in there. And then Shakespeare, who serenaded his darling boy in his sonnets, which was his, love poetry. And some other good, interesting facts throughout history. And I picked out some of the ones with the more famous people, like Julius Caesar, who allegedly has a love affair with King Nicomedes of Bithynia. And did you know in the year 498, in spite of laws against gay sex, Christian emperors continued to collect taxes on male prostitutes. But that wasn't until the reign of Anastasius I, who ended up, abolishing the tax. And going on a little bit more into the history, in 1260 France, first offenders, sodomites, lost their testicles. Second offenders lost their member. We all know what that means. And then third or habitual offenders were usually burned at the stake. But don't worry, women, or lesbos, you were treated just as well. You were mutilated and executed in the same fashion. Okay? And lucky enough, in 1476, Leonardo da Vinci was charged with sodomy, but no verdict was rendered in that trial. Now let's see how the history books would have been a little bit different on that, since we all know that he was a very famous artist and a great inventor, because he did many different things for flight. He's an amazing guy. And moving on briefly into the history viewpoint of it, during the Holocaust, about 50,000 people were sentenced because of their homosexuality, and thousands of them died in the concentration camps, not just the Jews. But outside of the gay community, this persecution of homosexuality, or homosexuals, I should say, in these concentration camps is usually ignored. As with most modern day homosexual things, usually when someone sees that someone gay is being mistreated or anything, it's usually brushed underneath the rug, I should say. So no difference there. But, they didn't face only the persecution from German soldiers, they also faced it from other Jews that were in there. And, it wasn't just gay Jews, it was just gay people in general as well. They didn't have to be a gay Jew, So, but anyways, yeah, they were many. There was many reportings of gay people dying from the beatings, and not besides that, besides having to possibly, if they were a gay Jew, they would have to wear, their little Star of David. The gay people got the wonderful little pink triangle, and that pink triangle was used for the target practice by the German soldiers. I guess they weren't that well of aim. Maybe if they had a gay guy with a good trigger finger, if you know what I mean, he would have been able to do the job very well. Now let's move on to a little bit of U.S. history. Pennsylvania was the first state to repeal the death penalty in 1786. Wow. Gee. A little bit, that's around the Constitution, yeah? Oh, wow. We're making progress there. And the first state to decriminalize homosexuality was Illinois. But that wasn't until 1961. Until 1961, it was still a crime in the United States to be gay. And what's even more pathetic is it wasn't until the year 2003 that 13 states were forced to repeal those laws, thankfully, for the Lawrence Act. But all of these facts bear witness that male love is irrepressible. Where forbidden, it has prevailed over the stonings, burnings, lobotomies, and schoolyard homophobia. But where it has been welcomed and joined in giving love and equality, it has openly blossomed into the highest achievements of the human mind. And a good video that you can watch on YouTube, if you'd like to type in there some gay education, it'll help answer some common questions about why people think being gay is a choice. It's an animated cartoon. It's very good, based on facts for all those skeptical people out there. So all in all, I'll keep moving on. So hopefully with this little bit of information, you'll have a different outlook on homosexuals. If you're not narrow-minded, not saying you are, but if you can clearly and logically think that homosexuals are just normal people. People have the right to be loved and to give that love. People should also have the right to marry. If you don't believe gay marriage is right, then it is very simple. Don't marry someone of the same sex. If you're concerned about protecting marriage, then you should ban divorce. Because simply, being gay doesn't really affect your life, so why should you be bothered by it? I can understand if something bothered you so bad, like, alcohol, like in Wanda Sykes' video, if it's that bad, which you can YouTube it, Wanda Sykes on gay marriage, her stand-up routine. If it involves you, like let's say, no selling alcohol after 9 a.m., whoa, oh no, let's get right on that and start picketing and protesting, because that involves me. But don't involve yourself in gay marriage. If you're not going to marry gay, stay out of it. Or lesbian, or transgender, or bisexual. We're all equal. Period. End of sentence. It shouldn't even be debated. And another good thing is, marriage should be like the mafia. Once you're in, you're in. You can't get out unless you die. Sure, the murder rate might go up, but thanks, Wanda. It'll even out. So, anyways, going on to a little bit of a good friend. Well, not really friend, but I admire him. It's Dan Savage, and you can YouTube him as well. That's a little YouTube symbol now. Dan Savage on some gay adoptions. Many children who are sent to these adoption agencies are sent by straight parents who are not prepared, not planned, and not willing to give these loves. Homosexual people can't do that. They can't be like a straight person and wake up one day and be like, oh no, I'm pregnant, oh no, what's going on? Well, what's all this paperwork? I'm not prepared. You can't do that. These homosexual people that want to adopt, are ready to adopt, are ready to provide this love, but aren't given the opportunity to. And it's just sad. It's narrow-minded.